Okay, so we got to Brooklyn and we just did some devos the night we got there, and we went to bed because we knew we needed our rest for the next day and for the entire week. And then the next day we got up and we did the day camp all day, 12 hours of day camp, which was crazy, but it was so much fun. And then we did our devotions like we do every night, and then we went to bed, and then the next day we woke up and we did some work projects on the house that Steve and Jessica Fox will be staying in. And we also served a community lunch, which was pretty sweet. We got to meet a lot of people from the community and just like serve them in the best way we possibly could. That night we got to go into Manhattan and do some fun stuff. Like we went and saw Hillsong, New York, which is so amazing. They're so cool there. Yeah, then the next day we did some more community projects. We worked on the house some more for a really long time, like all day. And then we also got to go into Brooklyn again that night. And then the next day we finished up on the house and we did some more sightseeing in Manhattan. And then the last day we actually had a huge community lunch. We had so many people come in, and it was just so awesome to see God working throughout the entire week and just all the little things we did. We didn't really do anything like super big, but it was just like God constantly working in all the little things we did. Well, just a broad overview is people came in and we served them lunch, and then we also got to sit and talk with some of them. And I didn't do a lot of that, but I did do a lot of serving, and that was really fun for me because I'm kind of a quiet, not outgoing person. So for me to just be able to still serve them and serve God and just give them the smile that they needed when they came in, it was really awesome. So actually, there were these two little girls that came in with their father, and they, I mean, just this joy on their face that they got from just like eating food. And like I offered them a piece of bread and they were so excited about the bread. It wasn't even good bread, like it was stale, but they were just so excited about it anyway. And yeah, that was a really cool part of the trip. So I volunteered early in the day before all the kids got there to just stand at the back door and greet people. I thought if I was at the back door, I probably wouldn't have to interact with the kids as much. Like, I don't know, my biggest fear going into that day was just like, none of the kids are gonna like me, I'm not gonna make any connections, I'm not really good with kids, and it's just like, I mean, it was just constant like downgrading myself when it came to kids. And then like, I don't know, something changed. God worked, and there were these three girls that came in, and Kamara, Adesha, and Madison, and me and a couple other girls really got to know them, and they were so fun. At one point during the day, it was almost the end of the day, and Kamara goes, I love to dance at home. And I'm like, you're a dancer? And she's like, well, I just like to dance in my living room. And I'm like, well, I'm a dancer. And she's like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, just show me some of your moves. And so she started dancing, and she did like 5 million splits, and I was just like, I'm too old for this. But it was just fun to have that like connection in there, you know, with the kids. Another kid that was really memorable, I don't really know what the word is, but was Sham. And I, early on in the day, like after I was done greeting, he was in there, and like no one really knew what to do with him, and so I just kind of went up and was like, hey bud, do you want to go get some breakfast? So we kind of ate breakfast together, and it was really fun. And when I went to take a picture with him, he had to do a whole dance, so he taught me a whole picture dance and all this kind of stuff, so it was really fun. Well, I guess like my story is kind of a little bit different than some of the other kids that went on the trip. I was not excited to go on it. I didn't even sign up in the beginning. I didn't find out I was going on this trip till 2 weeks before, but I just had people like constantly like, you need to go on this trip, it's gonna be awesome. I'm like, I have this to do and this, and I don't really want to go. But it's just like all these reasons why I shouldn't go, and I was just like, I gotta get over myself, and people were like, you gotta get over yourself. So I ended up going, and just like the unity that was in our group that week, like I had never experienced that before, and I had been with all these people for like my entire life, and just like seeing that and seeing how God worked, and like I was able to talk to you know, even the youngest in the group, and I was able to talk to the leaders, and like everyone could just talk to everyone, and like every day we did group devotions, and that was really good for me because that is something I totally struggle with, is like getting in God's word daily. I just had people always there holding me accountable. You know, did you do your devotions? Like, what are you gonna share tonight? What's your God moment of the day? So that was really cool. Missions for me is like a big deal. Like, it takes me out of my comfort zone, and it kind of puts me in a place where I need God. And it's also really cool to just be able to serve people constantly. And I wish I would have done these more when I was younger, or, you know, like early on in high school. I feel like I would have treated people differently. I feel like I would have viewed the world differently. I guess, I mean, like most people, I'm a very selfish person, but I would say that would be my biggest thing. Like, my biggest sin is like, I'm selfish. I only worry about myself. I don't really care about other people. I don't care about how I treat other people. And just when I was in Brooklyn, just like being able to see other people and see the hardships they're going through, and just see the joy that they had still, was, I think, probably the thing that changed me the most. It made me think like, wow, I'm not the only person. Like, I'm in a city with 15 million other people, and they're going through the same stuff, if not harder than I am. And so just seeing that really changed me. And just like, they're all so like, I mean, you get the typical New Yorkers are so bitter and all that kind of stuff, and they're always angry and they're really pushy, but like, really, they're so accepting of other people. You know, you have one culture living here, one culture living there, one culture living here, you know, and they're all neighbors and they're all friends. And I don't know, that just, I mean, I can't even get along with my siblings sometimes, you know, and they're getting along with people that aren't even from the same background as them. So that was pretty impactful. It made me think less of myself and more of God and more of other people. I think it'll make me less susceptible to assuming things about other people, and just like wanting to get deeper in a relationship with people. If you have a chance to go on a mission trip, like, don't hesitate. Like, God's gonna use it. Even if you don't think it's gonna happen, God's gonna use you, and He's gonna use that trip to impact your life, and He's gonna change you.